Hello everyone and welcome to the Spanish Grand Prix for round 5 of the AOR PC Split 1 on a track. I never had a league race, or never had an F1 league race so far actually. I've never been there, surprisingly. And yeah, here in qualifying on our out lap, actually on our second run, and the only run we can get actually, because there was a certain amount of rain prediction and qualifying, and you can see it's already getting dark at the start of the session. It was pretty sunny, and now it's quite cloudy, so that's an indicator that it will rain at the towards the end of the session. So that's so it would be very good if we can get that lap in now on our second run. I don't know why I abandoned the first run actually, to be honest, anymore. But you can see here Marco FD at the moment in pole position with a 1:17.2, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm not getting anywhere near that. I think my PB was a 17.7, but in this cloudy conditions, don't think I'm getting near that. Coming out of the final corner, opening up the DRS and using almost all of my curves. I was not perfect, but still quite good. Hitting the limiter here to 322k into the second gear for the first corner, not cutting or extending, which is good to see. And you can see the first raindrops here on the screen, which is not very good. That was the first sector into first gear, staying a little bit too long in first gear, actually losing a little bit of exit speed there out of turn 4 into turn 5. Early short shift into second gear to get a better traction, did not get any much wheel spin, and maybe a small cut there in that left-right chicane sort of, but it was still okay. And full throttle, of course, through this right-hander, completing the second sector, running a little bit too deep into the hairpin, but still a good one. And this also having a good traction out of that right-hander. Now this very narrow last section of the lap, and into first gear for the chicane, and not cutting that second part, which is very good to see. And using the rest of my curves and shifting up the gears, and let's see what time it's gonna be. At 1:18.1, which is far off my PB, and that lap actually felt much better than it actually was. 8.5 tenths behind Marco, which is a little bit surprising actually. But P6 is not too bad. I mean, I didn't really like the track either in practice, to be honest. Hamish is in second, our teammate who's always been quite good at this track, in third, which is good to see. Coolcat in fourth, the race winner from Bahrain, Fisla. Behind us is Nicky Honeybadger, the first man on the prime tires, in 8th. Certainly a good time for him on the prime tires. Hosses is in 9th, and Titan the first time actually, I think, in the top 10 in qualifying, and the field is completing with Magnussen setting no time, Lucas as well, and Double D has the pad glitch once again and cannot, fourth time in a row not finishing for him. 0% chance of starting for the race, and that's our strategy. Laps 5, 14 and 23, and that's our setup here. And 111 as well, and the suspension is quite special actually. I just wasn't really feeling comfortable with 111, which was pretty standard, which is actually a standard setting for me, and just tried something a little bit different, and yeah, 11.115 actually worked quite good for me. And we're heading now out of our box, out of the pits, to start the race. And yeah, once again Marco and pole, but this time it was a legal lap, a very impressive time for sure. And he's of course the one to beat the championship leader, and Hamish in second in the championship, and Klawitsky in third. So the first 3 guys in the championship, also the first 3 guys starting this race, and we're having quite a good launch, better than Kuka with his American connection, just lagging forward a little bit. Maybe used a little bit of high curves. We're having the outside line for turn 1, Honey Badger on the inside now, and he's getting a push from behind, I think from Nicky, and that pushes us right off the track. We're sort of trying to rejoin the track, very cautious, but that didn't work out, as I think Nicky and Posses went side by side through the right-hander. There was no space for me at all, and I'm getting hit off into the gravel, and I lost my right end plate, which is also going to harm us for the first stint. So absolute disastrous start into this race on the track. I think it's I've said that before, that I not really enjoy driving at. And severe understeer through that left hand, and it's, let's see the gap to Lucas after the second sector. Already 6 seconds behind the field, so that's not really good. Let's see what we can do here in the next 32 laps, and especially after the first stint, when we getting a new front wing. Yeah, it's already a damage limitation race actually for us, because I do not think I have the pace to catch up to the front where we have been in Bahrain. It's not really looking like that. Didn't really look like that in practice. And we're skipping now to lap 4, still in last place, but we catched up a little bit to Lucas, only 1.9 seconds now behind him. Fastest lap is also not, 1:23.4. That's maybe 1 second slower than I should, than the time I should do. At least I think so. It's already 3 or 4 weeks ago. Has taken place 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the first cars into the pits. I think my teammate as well. It seems so. Yes, he's the only one who's going into the pits. No, not the only one. There's the second one in the second car in the pits. And end of lap 5, our teammate is only 1.7 seconds behind us. And yeah, that means we are already almost a pit stop down on him after 5 laps, which is not really good. It's really not. And diving into the pits now for fresh set of the prime tires, and the majority of the field is now coming in now. I think behind us it's Fissler who went into the pits. And yeah, we have to change our front wing. And there we go, 5.6 second pit stop, and again in last place as expected. Titan of Racing now in P11 in front of us. And we still have chance here to get some points. That's no question about it. But I think everything better than P6 or something would be very surprising actually, if everyone has an incident-free race. And yeah, skipping now to lap 8. I think Magnussen and Lucas, they haven't pitted. They have pitted a little bit later, and Magnussen as well on the prime tires. I think he started on the prime tires, or did he start? I think he started on the prime tires, to be honest. And they're having an impact here, Magnussen and Lucas, and Picotti, that left-hander, this left kink here, and we are not overtaking Lucas here through the third sector. We tried to have a good run here through the chicane, and exit was quite decent, but we're a little bit too far back actually to really make a move. If he has a good top speed, then I do not think that we can do something here. Already hitting the limiter, 323k. We're still braking late and going up the inside. He leaves us. He didn't shut the door there, and that gives us P10 for them. So already up into a points paying position after 8 laps, which is good. Certainly very good. And actually I should mention that the car Magnussen didn't lose his front wing. It's just a bug on my screen actually, to be honest. On his screen there wasn't any damage. I think he lost his front wing at the pit entry, and that got repaired, not on my screen. And yeah, let's see if we can pull away from them or if they are staying with us. And in front of us is now Titan, 6.4 seconds, so that gap kept pretty consistent, and I mean, yeah, does not really feel, well, it also shows that we're not really having the pace to catch up to that group here in front of us, with the gap to Titan staying consistent. 121.5, which is certainly not too bad, but we're not using any curse here, but Lucas is coming pretty near, but we're braking late enough to not let him attack. And there's Hamish, very slowly. He was in P2 or 3, or I think he made a major mistake into turn 1 or 2, or did he get hit off or something? I'm not too sure. I think he got hit off, and then he rejoined the track very dangerously, and then yeah, he got someone hit him into the barrier, but he didn't lose his front wing, but he's now at the back of this queue. No, he's actually on the inside here. I'm overtaking Magnussen and going up the inside. No, actually Magnussen is on the inside here, and we are defending that position just about. He's getting a switchback maneuver, has the inside line for the right hand here. We have to leave him room. He has the inside line for the next right hand. We're leaving him as less room as possible, and we're staying in front for the moment. But he now has the DRS, but we're getting a very good run out of that chicane, and he does not so. So we should be fighting and defending from him on this straight at least. But it shows that we're not really fast enough to pull away from Magnussen or Lucas. And I think also not from Hamish, who is certainly faster than all of us. If he finds his rhythm once again, and Magnussen with, I think, also a boost of curses now on the inside here for turn 4, sort of, who's still very much in front, but now he has a good exit on the inside line, and now he's having the outside line from turn 5, but we're covering that off. It's very difficult to go around the inside, to be honest, into turn 5, and we covered that off very well for the moment, but not really good that we're defending P9, where we show it isn't really the position where we should be. And now on the inside line is Hamish, who got past Magnussen, but we're defending that as well. I think Magnussen got past Hamish as well. I think he cutted that. Who cutted that hairpin? Again, missing that apex for the first part of the chicane, which is not really good. That allows now Magnussen to be a little bit closer than last time out for the straight here. And we're using a little bit of my curse, but not really going in rich mixture or something, and not really wanting to defend that position, as Magnussen is clearly faster than us at the moment. And also having a little bit of wheel spin here, but we try to stay in the slipstream and stay with him. And on lap 14 we weren't actually able to do that, as Magnussen has pulled out the gap from maybe 1.5 seconds or something, and Lucas still behind us. He's coming into the pits with us. Magnussen, of course, staying out longer, and I think Hamish went for the undercut, but he should be still behind us. And as we are holding up Titan, and actually Titan, the same team, of course, as Lucas, and Lucas gets held now into pits massively, which is certainly not good for us. Another one who's not in, maybe get some clean air now, but we can see here on the minimap Hamish is now behind us, and he showed some good pace in the first half of the in the opening laps at least, and should be faster than this. And lap 16, Magnussen rejoined the track in front of us, and then now Hamish has a run on us here into the hairpin, and he's sort of in front, but we're still here on the outside. He has to leave us room, but he does not, and there's a little bit of a sidewalk glitch moment. Luckily no one of us spinned there, but that was very dangerous for the moment, and I think he could have left a little bit more room there. just a tiny bit. I was still on the track, I was still on the line, I think, with my left tires, but was pretty dangerous. Could have spun both of us out of the race, and then I'm weaving there a little bit. And lap 23, Hamish pulled out massively. He overtook Titan, I think, and he's already, I mean, he's gone. He's absolutely gone. He's flying on that prime tires at the moment. And we have now Nicky behind us. I think he made some major mistakes. Not really a good race for him. And now preparing for our last pit stop. As planned, lap 23. And there's a car in front of us as well in the pits. I don't know who that is. That is... it is Hamish. It is Hamish actually in front of us who pitted. And where will we rejoin the track? We will rejoin in 11th position after... what happened to Lucas? I think he retired or he disconnected. Well, I think that or the other possibility. And Fissler, Nicky now behind us, and Fissler in front, and the two in front, I think Titan and Fissler, they have all the tires than me. No, sorry. Lucas stayed out for another lap, so that's the reason why he's in front at the moment. And he will pit, when he will pit, he's behind us, and so it is. Titan also now behind us. And we are on lap 32, and we catched up a little bit to Fissler, who is now on his 10th lap on this prime tires. Only one lap more than me, but fresh tires around this track are very, very, very crucial. And that's the reason why we catched up a little bit to him, and now I think his tires will hit the cliff maybe in the next corners or something, and he starts braking himself, and that gives us P8 for the moment. Yes, it does, and our tires should last until the end. Although it's already a 3-stop strategy is pretty well, it's pretty much the limit on this track to do a 3-stop. So last lap, nothing really happened. Fissler dropped back massively. Marco FD won the race, I think 7 seconds in front of our teammate, who is in 2nd place. So that's very good, very, very good race from him. And Honey Badger comes home in 3rd after a good race from him. He likes to sort of go for I don't know, not incident-free races. Let's put it that way. And if he does have a good race, he certainly has the pace of challenging the podium or even a win in the near future. But good race from Honey Badger, and Hamish in 4th, so good recovery from him. Posses in a solid 5th place, and Magnussen up into P6. Cool Cat, our championship rival for the moment, in front of us. He gets past us in the championship by 1 point for the moment, and we are only in 8th after that disastrous first lap. That was the only, I mean, maybe I could have got maybe P7, P6 or something. That would have been the absolute maximum for today. Not really a track dealing with well with, to be honest. Although it was my first race around here. Fissler in 9th, Lucas in 10th. Fastest lap goes to Honey Badger with a 1:17.7 on the option tires. It's a very quick lap actually. Titan in 11th, still no points for him this season. Nicky not finishing, I think he retired due to a massive corner cut or something. Yeah, took himself out of this race. Double D not finishing, as you've seen that in the qualifying session as well. Marco having a massive lead now over Hamish, over 35 points, that is, I think. Klewitsky only 3 points now behind Hamish, which is good to see. A Cool Cut overtaking us by 1 point. Honey Badger closing that gap a little bit. Posses also not too far behind, and Magnussen with 34 points in 8th. Fissler in 9th, Nicky, Double D still in 11th, and still Titan, Ilkrug and Kubica still with no points this season so far. Constructors, we dropped a little bit back, 7 points ladder gap to Ferrari, but that's not too much. Toro Rosso a little bit further back in third, Red Bull, McLaren, Caterham, Williams, and Mercedes still with no points. That was it from the Spanish Grand Prix. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time out at Monaco. Bye bye.